Plantation workers are most important to this country because Sri Lankan primary export income was the plantation industry. So what is happening to these workers? It's important us to have a look. We are very much aware that this sector is feminized sector. That means more women are working in this sector. So more women workers means when we talk about plantation workers, we consider about these women workers. So we are very much aware how much the trade unions are rooted in plantation community, because it's not like other sectors. In the plantation sector, workers believe that trade unions are part and parcel of their life, and they go for all the problems, including their domestic violence also they go to the union. So therefore, we have to look at how these trade unions are. But we are very clear that most of the trade unions are very male dominant, and that means male centered. But as I said earlier, this sector is feminized sector. So feminized sector, more women are there, more members are women members, but the leadership is male leadership. So that is a biggest problem here I see. Because most of the plantation women workers problems are continuing. So it's not only 1 year or 2 years, it's not a new sector to Sri Lanka. It's more than 200 years this sector is running from British colonial period. So what is the condition of these workers? It's very low. So we can see why these situations are continuing. It's very important us to have a look on this. We can talk about these workers' problems for hours and hours and hours, but I'm going to highlight a few major problems here. First of all, the basic rights, the workers' dignity. We will talk about workers' dignity. So why I'm using this word dignity? Because the workplace, all the workplace, it can be restaurant or it's any other workplace, factory or field, the workplace has to be, it's a basic rights. They have to maintain that basic rights, right? So as I said earlier, it's more than 200 years this industry is running, but there is no toilet and eating place in this field, right? When women workers pluck tea, they work more than 8 hours in the field. So more than 8 hours when they work, it's a basic rights. There is no toilet, so where they go? So this is a big question. So it's not only for women, even for men workers, it's workers' dignity is most important. So I don't think they feel okay with this, but more women are working, and especially the pregnant women and feeding mothers, all are there. So what I want to say, this is a basic rights. No one can deny, they can't say no need toilets and eating place, they no need to this field. Nobody can say that. So then why it's not happening? So that is my major concern. And we have to remember these women workers are plucking tea on that same field, eating on the same field, and passing urine and everything on the same field. Is this health-wise? Number one, forget about health-wise. It's their dignity. Think about it. So this is major concern I want to raise here. So basically, I remember when Red Flag Women's Movement, when we started, why we started, we really want to integrate gender into the trade union movement, because we don't want to continue as a male-centered trade union. So the traditional, there are good side of traditional things, but there are bad side of traditional also. So we want to change that. That's what I call, it's a gender integration. So we concentrated mostly that women workers, they should, we have to give enough space for them to practice their leadership, raise their voice, solve their problems. Basically, that is it. So to do that, trade union structures should change. So male and female, because this sector is male and female, even though it's feminized sector, male workers also working. Therefore, leadership should reflect male and female. So all the structure level changes, it happened through constitution, trade unions constitution. So we did it, that. Then we started to practice. So put the ideology into practice is most important. We can't just talk about it. So therefore our suggestions, Red Flag Women's Movement suggestion, all the employers, they are accountable, because giving a safe workplace is employers' duty. So they have to do at least each field one toilet and eating place with drinking water. So this they have to do. And also I am blaming the state because the government's responsibility to look after these workers, because they are part of plantation workers, are part of Sri Lankan citizen. So looking after the Sri Lankan citizens' rights, it's a government's responsibility. Therefore, if companies failing to do that, it's a government's responsibility to raise this and make it happen. So that's what this is most important issue. And another thing I want to say, the wage issue. Everyone say plantation wage is equal wage. No, it is not an equal wage. Equal wage means the workers should work same hours. The two ways equal wage I want to point out here. One is male and female workers. Male workers working less hours and female workers are working more than 8 hours, but they are getting the same payment. So that is also not equal wage. Another way, the equal wage means the work which they do, they have to pay for that. So they are not getting paid for the work what they are doing, right? It's a very little wage. So today it's 1,000 rupees wage. Is it enough for a day, 1,000 rupees for a worker, right? They got family members, they have to maintain their family. So, but their tea price, compare the 1 kilo tea, for a day a worker is plucking more than 20 kilos. Right? Then we have to think about when it's grind and how it's sale, cut all the cost. But that price and their wage is very low. So this is another point I want to point out. Workers should pay high wage and the equal wage. Another major, one more issue I want to point out, that is informalization. This informalization, what is this informalization? Because plantation sector is a formal sector. Where it's come from, this informalization? So the plantation sector, we all aware, 92-93 it's privatized. The companies signed and they agreed that they will run these estates properly according to Sri Lankan laws. But what is happening recently, actually this started 10 years before, but slowly now, because of this denial of collective agreement, this is increasing. Plantation companies are trying to introduce a new system to the plantation sector. What is basically that, whatever name they call, it can be outgrower, they can call boat leaves or some other system they can say, but all system they are talking about one thing. They are trying to reduce their cost and they are trying to increase their profit. That is the major goal of all these systems. So what is happening to these women workers? They are losing all labor laws. No EPF. If they go to that system, what is the system talking about? Stop your check roll system as a permanent formal sector work. We are going to give you a plot lands. You can work freely. You give your plucked tea leaves to us. So when you give your plucked tea leaves to us, we decide the price. How much we pay, you get it, right? So still the employer-employee relationship is there. They can't say there is no employer-employee relationship. Workers are not owned to that land. Workers are not decided. Workers can't decide where to give the tea, right? But everything control, no EPF, ETF to these workers. That means they are violating the labor laws. And no maternity benefit for women workers. So no gratuity, right? Until they stop their pay, once when they start here, there is no gratuity payment, no health and safety check and balance, no compensations. So we can say everything no, 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 no. Then what is here? What benefit they get? The companies are arguing the workers can recruit more workers or family members to pluck this tea and give. What is happening here? It's a child labor is increasing in this country. Nobody concentrating on this because we need to understand someone can say no, it's workers, why their children, why they are stopping children's education and putting them to pluck teas. Yes, they are vulnerable. The poverty allow these things to do. So because of this poverty, and they are not thinking about the future of the children. They want to live today. They want to stay and eat today. They want to feed food to the children and the family. So they are asking their children to stop education and coming and pluck this tea because they can recruit anyone and they can pluck tea. As much as they can pluck, they will earn. So that is their task. So these systems are, we call it an informalization. So immediately this informalization should stop. The companies should understand, right? It's not only target earning profit. They should see this plantation women and their children's life, future life. They have their future. Don't destroy their future. So this is what our message to the companies and also the government. We are saying it is totally your responsibility to look after the citizens. They are workers. They contributed to this country. Don't ignore. Country is going. It's a major financial crisis. We are aware about that. Major financial crisis. Who is going to pay back? The citizen is going to pay back. The plantation workers is going to earn for that. So therefore, please look after their rights, the basic rights. There are so many other issues. I'm not going to talk about all the issues. Think about their citizens. Their dignity is most important. Their rights are violated now. Look after that. Please bring them back to formal sector and give their labor rights back. But still we know there are a lot of gaps in our labor rights, but at least the rights which we have, they should enjoy that rights. This is to ask this, it's their rights, it's our trade unions' rights also. Thank you.